Hello, everybody, or nobody, depending on who's here. Let's get into a couple things. We have finally the I say that fast one. The beacons. Pretty nice, huh? Oops. Pretty spiffy. No, I'm not sure how I feel about a purple beacon with little blue particles. So might need to change that, honestly. We're going to be all over the place. And yes, I'm eating cookies. Sorry. Sue me. But don't. I can't afford that. This should be Ellis Core. No, Ellis Core, no, Ellis Crystal. All I have to do is a hue shift. Oh, it should be fine. Let me just, yeah, let me just turn this off for a second. Wrong button. There we go. I just have some pictures of Amazon reviews. And I don't particularly, I mean, it'd be a stretch. Somebody would really have to do a lot of digging on Amazon to find those exact pictures. But if somebody were to do all that, they could link my Amazon identity to this identity. That'd be no good. So just make sure that can't happen. Okay, we're just going to adjust the hue here until it becomes purplish. I guess we have to go this way. You know, I think that's... If I had something to compare it with. I'm going to say that's going to work. So we're going to do it. Just export it over. Dunzo. Let's see how it looks. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. I dig it. I do need a variety of them. Or I could cheat. It's not really cheating per se. I could just image, transform, rotate, export as Crystal Spark -01. Oh, you know what? That's not even what I wanted. It needs to be underscored, I believe. That was the last cookie, don't worry. I'm sure all the crunching mouth sounds are just completely delightful. Okay, so let's figure out how to do this now, because I have no idea. I would assume for this particles, we just do... Here we go. I'm assuming, I've never done this, we put them into a table and then just define multiples. That would be my guess. Would that be correct? I have no idea. So we're gonna try it. Oh, and then I need to comment here. No, let's see what happens. LS crystal and callback LBM trigger, no description. Literally all I did is put a second texture in. How did that change anything? Well, I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. Well, let's see. particle spawner. Because I know it does support multiple textures. It's just a question of how do I define the multiple textures. Particle spawner definition. Texture. Also supports table format described in the following section. Well, what is the following section? Okay. Okay. Textures, here we go. Textures. A text pool consists of a list of possible texture particles. Oh, okay. Well, this just looks simple enough. So we just do text pool equals a table. And then that table is comprised of multiple tables, which, okay, that's fine. So we would have this as a table. And then we would have that was weird, have another table here. I don't know what's going on with the indentation. And then we close this out with a, oh wait, I have to put a name equals in these. Now I can do an alpha, I can do a scale. One could be animated, one could not be animated. And we're back? Pretty sure? Should be. I don't know why OBS keeps crashing. I managed a 7-hour stream Friday night with one crash. And then 9 minutes in, it crashes today. I don't know what's going on. All right, well, let's cover up some of the new content that has been added since the 7-hour stream that I aforementioned. So we have the mobs here, which they need work, but they at least exist, so that's good. I think that guy might be trying to attack me. Or not. We have the beacons, as aforementioned. You can right-click on them. You get this nice little screen. Short-range beacon, 3 links. The message changes here. Oh, the long-range beacon. Oh, that's a fern. Long-range beacon also gets the same screen. Tells you it's a long-range beacon, how many beacons it's linked to. I have a short-range beacon. Here we go. Out here that only has one link, so this is just only one link. Hurry, link it to more beacons to protect it from monster attacks. And I believe this one also only has one link, so it tells you the same message. That's basically just grabbing, checks how many links there are, and then there's 4 different messages depending on how many links, and it just gives you that answer. The furnace, well, not really the furnace, but the metal ingots now have a beautiful metal ingot texture. It's very nice, actually. I think that's the only new texture, quite honestly. None of the tools got textures yet, which is not fantastic. I honestly think that's pretty much it. There was a couple bugs that I found while testing the mob stuff, so those have been fixed. Oops, which is handy. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Not really great. I do have a crystal item now, which I don't know if I actually find it as an item anywhere. So let's just do give me LS crystal. Crystal? No, that's an unknown item. So that is not the name of it. I thought I had it. Maybe I didn't. Actually, I don't even know when I would have put that in. I have a feeling that I never... Yeah, there's this crystal gem. I don't think I ever actually wrote any code for that, which is awkward. So let's go ahead and do that. Like I said, this is going to kind of be all over the place because running out of time, you know? Let's call it gem.lua and do this. I also made gem is after the furnaces. Okay, well, I'll just change this one then. Wait. I also made a neat little background thing for the form spec, but it's not actually implemented yet. It's the inventory slot background. So instead of the, if we hop in here, I can show you. Instead of the standard just boring gray background boxes. Oh, you know what? I don't think anything I have has, no. When you highlight the new ones that I have, but they're not visible anywhere, they go to a light white color when you highlight them, and otherwise they are invisible, and it's just a texture from the background that displays through, which is pretty much just a darkened and desaturated version of this. And I know this kind of looks pretty dark, or maybe it doesn't, I don't know. It really depends on your screen, honestly. I think if I... Nope. There, yeah, if I tilt that screen, well, then I get more glare on it. Depending on the angle of your screen and the brightness and the color temperature and everything of your screen, it'll be more visible on some than others. But it'll just be a nice little textured background on it, which should look nice, but I guess who knows. Okay, so I need to do, if I come to ls items, and then I just copy one of these, because I think that's all I need. So this would be ls crystal, and we're just gonna call it gem. There we go. And then the description will be Lightshard. And then the texture is, I don't know why it's called gem. It probably shouldn't be. Let's change that actually to Lightshard. And then we'll change this to crystal Lightshard. And then I suppose I do need to rename the file itself. Oops. I renamed it to Lightshard. It's not Lightshard, it's a Lightshard. It's a shard of light. Now, I do believe that I also need to make a dead variant of it. ls, oh, I have to give me, it needs to be a command though. Give me ls crystal Lightshard 20. Cannot give unknown item. Really no, because do file mod path gem.lua core register craft ls crystal light. Oh, misspelled that. That's awkward. All right, let's load this back up. I should be able to just rerun that command. Hey, there we go. So I have 20 of these beautiful light shards. Look at that. Now you can't do anything with them at the moment. However, I do believe, oh wait, my craft bench is gone. I don't have one in inventory. That's a shame. Give me, oh boy, that guy's getting kind of close. Give me ls stations workbench. Cannot give an unknown item. Well, I thought that's what the item was called. Jeez, it's not. Is it called the workbench? ls stations workbench. What did I call it? Oh, did I capitalize the W like an idiot? I sure did. Okay, so it turns out if you capitalize it, it won't work. Who knew? All right, so we're going to put our workbench here, and I can't put the crystal into it because nothing is craftable with the crystal yet. Okay, so we're going to need some recipes for that then, I suppose. So we're going to have... we're not making the workbench. We are making LS crystal. And then, I don't actually know what the name of the beacons are. Let's find out. And yes, I know there are better ways of doing this. LS crystal short range. Which, honestly, that probably needs to change, but... for now it works. And then we're going to go ahead and change this one to long range. Surprise, surprise. Now the question is how many, well, we don't use any planks or logs, but we are going to use metal ingots for sure, and the light shards. So that would be LS underscore crystal light shard and metal ingots. Yes. Now I'm thinking, what if for the short range we do, well, 5, and then metal ingots, I don't know, I don't want it to be too inexpensive, so we'll do 10 metal ingots. I mean, that won't really be super hard to come by, because one metal mine is 25. I believe, pretty sure, unless I change that. I honestly don't know, but we're going to leave it at that. And then the long range, we'll put to 9 because we're pretty much doubling it. But I want to give a slight advantage if you get the long range versus just doing 2 short range. That way people are incentivized to get the long ranges instead of just using all short ranges. So there's actually a small savings benefit, although you don't get the link boost, but you get the extra range. So you kind of have to make that decision for yourself. And then metal ingots honestly should stay the same because it's the same amount of metal whether you're dealing with a short range or a long range. But you know what? We're going to make it more metal because why not? So it's going to be 18 metal to get a long range. Now, the long range one doesn't exist yet as far as a texture or a model for it. And the off versions don't exist yet. So that's not great because... what is there to do if they don't die? Yeah, so it's a wee bit of a problem. But, like I said, we're going to be all over the place here today. I kind of need to get some metals going. So I'm going to find my Kobo one from last year. Because we were told we can reuse assets. My metal mine has a baked texture. Okay. Well, that doesn't really help me too much because that's a shame. I just need a flat texture to make it. I don't really want to bake a texture onto the... I mean, I could, and it would look better if I did. But to be quite honest... I ain't got time for all that. Well, wait a second. I have 4 different stones. What am I using for the stone? Maybe I can just use 2 of the stones for the metals. Because I got 2 textures here that kind of look like they could be metal-ish. I mean, if we're to believe Ark Survival or whatever the game is actually called. Because some of that metal looks pretty stony. I guess I've never really seen like metal ore inside of the ground, so I don't really know what it actually looks like. But let's see what I'm using for stone. So stone is using stone 1 and stone 2. Wow, that's a surprise. It's not. Okay, so I have stone 3 and stone 4. What if I change stone 2 and stone 4 into metal 1 and 2? I feel like this could work. Metal underscore 1, and then we'll change this one to metal underscore 4. And then the mapstone 3 needs to be changed to mapstone 2. I think the metal is already set up with, yep, metal 1 and metal 2. So we're good on that. So now, oh, ls map metal underscore 2. ls map metal, oh, I never changed it from metal 4, or from stone 4 to metal 2. I changed it to from stone 4 to metal 4, which obviously doesn't help. There we go. So that's metal. And this is the same one. Someplace there's a metal 1. Here we go. Yeah. So those are our metal mines. And then our stone mine. I think that's the same texture. Can I find a different stone mine? Oh well, it doesn't really matter. Those are our stones. Now, I did want to change it so the tops of the trees aren't diggable, because that was kind of getting goofy. So we're going to come in here, tree trunk, tree top, on dig. I'm just going to take this whole bit out and take the groups out. So that is all non-diggable. And then I think I need to go in and change the LBM back. Oh, we're still doing the random rotation and random selection. Okay, excellent. So the treetops, assuming I saved that, should no longer be diggable. Nope, you just have to dig from the tree bases, which is good. Only because the tops were, with them having a random rotation set, when they would flip, it would look goofy. The tree trunks, honestly, you don't really notice. Geometry-wise, it really stays the same. Texture might change the teeniest bit, but it's not super noticeable. I have a damaged beacon out here someplace. I don't know where. Oh, actually, no, never mind, I don't, because that code isn't actually run yet. It's just an ABM saying that one of the beacons should be damaged. But it's not, because there is no damage protocol in place yet. Alright, so the trees are fixed. I really need to make a... Oh, I didn't check... We were going to check out the ability of crafting the... There we go. Short range crystal. And that took 5 and 10. So that works. Very nice. Hey, bub. You're not welcome here. You're not welcome here, bub. You need to go, bub. Kinda brave here, aren't we? Maybe I should make a sword out of crystal. That'd be cool. Ain't no time for that, though. Okay, so we have that now. I guess we do need... I don't know how to do this. When the when the monsters die, they need to drop some items. Now I don't have anything here that happens when they die. You know what though? I do in Kobold Krieg. One of the goblins had something that happens when they die. I don't remember what. It doesn't really matter what it was. I just need it so when they die, I get stuff. Specifically crystals and metal lumps. On punch, if self-health is 0, then remove. On deactivate, put an entity out. The tombstone was an entity. Okay. That's all I think I need. Now this is... Let me check my Womble. So its health is never defined. Huh, well, that's cool. No, wait, here we go. Self-health, math random, 20 through 40. Actually, I think I can just... Well, let's first scroll down and even find an on punch in it. Is that going to work, though? Because I'm using tools, so I don't think I use an on punch. I have an on deactivate if removal. What does removal mean? Self-object remove, self-object remove. What options do I have here for an entity? Is there like an on death? On death self-killer. Called when the object dies. Killer and object ref can be nil. Well, sweet sauce. That's all I need. On death equals self and killer. I don't think we actually care about killer at all. Oh, I needed... What am I doing? On death equals function self-killer. You want an end with a comma behind it? Okay, there you go. Are you happy now? Perfect. Now, on death, do we get its position? I mean, technically, yes, because we have self. So we can get local position equals self position. So, self object get position, of course. Self object get position. Sweet. And then we just want to do... I just want to drop an item, honestly. I don't need to do all this entity biz. How do I just drop an item? Well, fortunately, I have... No, actually, I'm already doing that within this game. But where? Is that in here? No, it's not in that. Would it be in functions? I don't think so. It should be in the trees or stones. It should be part of map. Hello, map. Where you at? I know it's alphabetical order. It should be really easy to find this stuff. Stones. Here we go. That's hurting the people. Okay, here we go. Local inventory, 2 number, old metadata field. Okay, we actually don't care about that. I don't know why there's a space there. Add inventory digger. Okay, so I need to find an ls map function of add inventory. And that handles it. Here we go. If player inventory room for item, then player inventory add item, else local drop position player get node, core add item, drop position node. So I just want to do this. We're going to do core.add item position, and the node is going to be ls crystal Lightshard. Now, that does beg the question. I don't know if it actually begs it, but how do I get a stone pickaxe? There we go. Sweet. Well, I'll use this one up first. Hey, one of you wombles. Hey, bud. I just need one to kind of chill here. Trouble is they don't really stay when you attack them. They don't, like, return. They don't return the attack, which is a problem. Honestly, bugger, what do you do? Okay. Yeah, there's some problems. Like, for some reason, these idiots aren't trying to attack me. And I honestly don't know why. Oh, there you are. Hey, we got one. Sweet. Yeah, see the trouble is they jump through the trees. Noise, noise, noise. I got some crystals. But I don't want them to drop a crystal every single time. So there should be some sort of chance involved with that. So we're probably going to do Wow. Wow. Local crystal chance equals math. Random. What are the odds that they should drop a crystal? Like 1 out of 2? Let's just do that. 1 comma and 2. And then it'll just be a simple matter of, hey, Sammy Panda, you didn't know there was a Luanti game jam? It ends this Friday, so yeah, it might be a little late. But yeah, it's been going for the past 2 weeks. It's a 3-week long event. Actually, I don't know why I did crystal. This should be, wow, not meat. Metal. Ooh, or should it be meat? Because they could drop meat too. Metal lump equals math dot random. I don't know what that's all about. And this will be, we'll do let's do a 1 in 3 drop on the crystal, a 1 in 2 drop on the meat, on the metal, sorry, and then we'll have local meat chance. And this should have been metal chance, not metal lump. What am I making? It is a, I don't even know how to define it. It's not really a tower defense game, honestly, because I don't know how to write mob backend well enough. But basically you have, and the meat will do a 1 in 4 chance, so meat will be kind of more rare than the crystals and metal, honestly. So basically what we have here is these crystal beacons that are kind of an idea stolen from Dinotopia, if you've ever heard of that. And you link them together just by placing them. So like I have one here. I could make a little tower over here. A lot of very incomplete textures, yep. So I've got this little tower. I need to build ladders too, so I can do that. And then we place this crystal here, and this crystal beacon links up, and it says, hey, there's 4 more beacons it's linked to. So this is linked to this beacon, and it's linked to this beacon, and this beacon, and the long-range beacon. So there's 4 beacons linked to it. And now we have this whole little network of beacon connections going on here, which is pretty sweet, huh? And then, depending on how many beacons are linked, like this is linked with 4, so it says here to last a long time. You connect to other beacons to keep it safe from attack. So this is invincible, I guess, monster attacks. This one over here has 4 as well, so same thing. This one has 4. This one has 4. Does that one really only have 4? I feel like there might be more than 4. Anyway, we have one over here that only has 1 link. So it'll say, hey, you should probably link some more beacons to it because that's kind of dangerous. And this one only has 1 link. So if we go ahead and, I didn't want to drop the wood. I wanted to build a tower with the wood. If we go ahead and build another tower, kind of midway through here, and yes, it's quite dark. Some catastrophic some catastrophic, what's the word? Event happened, and the sun's kind of blown up, so the days never get very bright anymore. But when you put these crystals out, the beacons, they drop light around themselves. So this one's linked to 3, so it's pretty safe, but it could still break. And so we have the links here, and the more beacons you link to it, the brighter the lights they drop. So if I linked up a bunch more beacons to this, I would end up having light source 14 nodes down here. They're invisible, you can't see them, you don't interact with them. They're automatically updated when you put beacons in or pull beacons out. So like if we watch the light there, when I dig this, that gets a little bit darker, as does this, because there's fewer links to it. Those 2 didn't link together before, no. So that doesn't actually affect anything. But it links up and then they get brighter, which is cool. And then we have a furnace, which has no texture yet. But the furnace also takes beacons. And the that's basically what does the power for it. So the more beacons you have linked to your furnace, the faster the furnace will cook to an extent. I forget what the numbers are. I think it only goes up to 4. It really should be done with some kind of a mathematic multiplier. So it wouldn't matter how many beacons you linked. It would just keep going faster and faster the more beacons. But I just have hard-coded values because that would be some kind of like a logarithmic thing. Because I don't just want it to be like a 1-to-1 ratio, right? So if you have 1 beacon, say it takes 10 seconds. Well, if you have 2 beacons, you can make it take half as long, because then it would take 5 seconds with 2, but then you have 3 beacons, and now it takes a third of the time. It's like, well, there's kind of a diminishing return, and I would want it to be kind of like a inversely proportional thing. So 2 doesn't give you much of a benefit, but 3 gives you a much higher benefit than just, 2 did. And going up to like 4 or 5 gives you a way higher benefit than just 2 did. But that was too much work. And the light to avoid them spawning. Oh, the monsters. Well, so the monsters break some nodes. It's hard to see because it never gets bright. But if I do place out the wooden planks here, the monsters are attracted to these nodes, and they will, yes, come and break them. They can't really reach the crystals if you have them in the air, but if you do have them on the ground, they will come after those. So if I just put one randomly over here. Oh, actually that links to something. Really? That reaches this long range one. Wow, okay. It has one link. Potentially monsters will come over here to this. Also, there's some weird lighting artifacts. I don't know why these are dark. I mean, there is a light source there, but this shouldn't be dark. It's like the light sources are casting a shadow. I must have something wrong with them. I don't know what. But the light source does help to scare away the monsters. This guy actually might be... No, he's just bugging out. They're very buggy. The monsters are attracted to any player-placed nodes that have the... I don't even know what the group name is, and there's higher values to it. So a monster is supposed to look around in a 35 node radius, I think 35 node, and be like, hey, what items are there? And then the higher rated the numbers are for the items kind of determines what it goes to attack. Sort of. Depending on the amount of light will also determine if the monster will even attempt to attack it. So like over here, there's probably enough light where the monster will find these items, but it does a check of the brightness and says it's too bright and it's just going to avoid it. Although potentially this guy is trying to break them right now. Yep, he's breaking it right now because it's not light enough. And then, what else? The spawn is controlled by the amount of light. So over here it would be too bright. They should never spawn there because that should be bright enough. The long range beacons, which this blue thing is, it doesn't have a model drawn yet, or modeled yet, I guess, in textures. It does do a brighter light initially, and then as it links up, it just keeps going up by levels of 1. But I believe this starts the base level of 8, and the short range start with a base level of 6. So if I had one here, what is this? This has 4 links, so these are light source 10s that it drops. And it basically just defines kind of a circle around itself and drops the lights to the first non-air node. And the long range one has a bigger range, so I think that drops 12 lights. Is it 12? 12 or 14 or something. And the short range I think does 8. I don't know the exact counts on those. So you do get a bigger area of light with the long range, but the long range are a little more expensive to craft. And then we have a crafting bench, which I shamelessly stole from my Epic game. And some of these textures I stole. Some are new. But this is how you pretty much craft everything. The player screen, this all needs to be overhauled, but I don't think I'm going to have time to do that. But you can't craft anything in here. And then dirt. Dirt you dig in quarter chunks. Unless you're using a shovel, which I don't have a shovel on me. But shovels will let you dig the full node at a time. When you dig the dirt, you get, if you dig it by hand, you get just this dirt item, which you can then craft into dirt nodes. So you can build with dirt if you want to. But the dirt, if you're digging it by hand, you can't dig out base nodes. So for example, if I had a wall of dirt here and I'm digging by hand, I can't dig this because there's dirt on top of it. However, if I had a shovel, yeah, give me a stone shovel, please. If I have a stone shovel, I must have no clip turned on. With a shovel, I can dig a node that has a solid node on top of it, and I also get the full node when I dig it. So there's an advantage to having a shovel versus just digging by hand. And then the stone nodes, these guys out here, you can punch by hand, and every once in a great while, oh, actually I have, there we go, yeah, we'll just do this. You can punch it by hand, there we go, I got one stone. I think this one you do just need to punch, but it does tell you should use a pickaxe, and you do take some damage, but you do get a little bit of stone out of it. The metal one, you could stand here and punch this all day. You'll take damage. You're never going to collect any metal lumps. By hand, you do need a pickaxe to do that. And then they break, but they immediately replace themselves. Each time you break it, you get a metal lump. So I have some metal lumps here going. There we go, 7 metal lumps. Wears out your stone pickaxe quite quickly, so you definitely want to upgrade to the metal pickaxe, which doesn't exist yet. And then I have these metal lumps, which I now need to cook in the furnace, so we throw some metal lumps. Oh, I never got this. Ooh! Bad argument number 1 start. Number expected got nil. That's not good. I guess we're fixing a bug. LS Crystals Furnace. Bad argument number 1 to start in line 116. 116. What is 116 doing? Timer start cook time. Local cook time equals def cook underscore times beacon count. What is beacon count? Beacon count is find beacons. Oh. I think I know what happened there. That's actually a very fortunate find. So if I go to LS items actually I don't even know what it is. It's LS items. LS standing for Lightshard, by the way. And we find the metal lump. So we have cook times. So if there's one linked beacon to the furnace, it takes 10 seconds. 2, it takes 9 seconds. 3, it takes 7.5. 4, it takes 5. And if you have 5, it crashes because there is no 5th option. So that means all I need to do is I have 2 options. I'm not sure what changed here. Why does this file say it's been modified? Oh, because I took that space out. Yeah. So all I need to do is come here and change beacon counts to a math min. So if I do math.minimum, and then we're going to do 4, comma, and then we'll put this value in parentheses. So no matter how many more than 4 you have linked, it'll only ever use, okay, what's the error? Math minimum. Yeah, why is this parenthesis expected to close? Where am I? What? LS crystal. Oh, I have to put another parenthesis here. There we go. So now I bet this will work. Did it say how many? Oh, because it's linked to 5 beacons. Yep, exactly. That's why it bugged out. And I think I do have to pull this out now and put it back in because the timer's not started. I may want to put in like an ABM or something just to kickstart the timers, just in case. Bad argument number to start. Number expected got nil. How did it not get a number? Math minimum 4. What? Does math minimum not work? No, because that wouldn't matter because it'd be giving 5. All right, well, we'll just do this. Print beacon count. All right, let's see what the debug says here. Because it should say 4. Input has 11 items. It's not even getting to that point. Where's it even printing this input line from? Maybe it's mathmin 4. No, because I might just have to put the math minimum to an X line. Because the beacon count is finding a list of connected beacons to the furnace, which should be returning 5 because when we looked at the form spec, it said it was connected to 5. And a math minimum should pick 4 when there's 5 because 4 is smaller than 5. And I do believe math min is correct. But yeah, where is it printing this? Input has 11 items. I think there's a function. Yeah, probably count input here. Calls that. So if it's greater than 4, which it definitely was. Oh wait, no, that would be correct. On metadata inventory put. So I bet this is called someplace, probably in the on timer callback. On timer, yes, we're doing the exact same thing in on timer. So I just need to copy that line, local beacon count, to here, and assume that I have it correct in the first instance. Although I don't know, so I guess we're gonna find out. Now we're attempting to index global player a nil value. But it worked before. Oh, because it's player name now. Player name is a string of a player name, so I just do player name here. Okay, I'll figure it out. Looks good, but my English is very bad. Dante Swift, welcome to the stream. Yes, not a microscope. Magnifying glass would be handy. All right, so I think this is cooking now. Yep, so we have 10 lumps now, and I got one more ingot. There we go. It's linked to 5 beacons, so it should be taking, I think it went down to 5 seconds a piece to cook those. Sweet, I do need to get that hooked up. So now I have my metal ingots, so I can craft whatever I'm crafting with my metal ingots. I probably should make, I don't know, some sort of a chest or something that we can store all these goodies in. We have logs that the trees drop, and you can turn the logs into planks. You can turn the planks into the floors and the wall things. See, like this bottom of the tower they dug out? That's kind of uncool, dudes. This stone they won't dig, though, but I don't know if you can actually mine that stone. Because that's a different stone than this stone. Yeah, so I think what I need to do here on my data inventory take, I don't know what this is supposed to, it just says this needs to be made to work. If list name output, what was this supposed to do? Was it to start the timer again if the output was full and you take something out of the output so the output now has an opening? I'm assuming that's what this was supposed to do. But I don't really understand how this wasn't working. So I'm not sure what the issue there is. Also, what is... Okay, I can take the print statement out. I don't need that anymore. We discovered the bug and we squashed the bug. The furnace really does need a texture. And background things. Okay, let's find the easiest things to fix that are the most important, that are the biggest bugs. I would think the Womble drops. Let's get that squared away. So it'll drop a Lightshard with a 1 in 3 chance. But actually it doesn't even do that yet. So we need to do if crystal chance equals 1, then add this in. Is this the best way to do this? It's probably not, but I don't know any other way. If metal chance equals 1, then we're gonna be kind of generous here. It's not very on topic, but I'm pretty excited about the Hightail news. Apparently, an early access coming soon. I thought Hightail was canceled. I thought they went bankrupt or something. Local metal count equals math random. Why does it do that? I already had the math spelled out. I don't need math twice. Math random. We'll give anywhere from 1 to 6. Yeah, 4. 1 to 4 pieces of metal on the killing of one of these. So there'll be another better way to get metal, but you're gonna have to fight these guys. So it's kind of. And then we'll just do a core add item, position, ls items, metal lump. And then I think we do metal count, I believe. No, I just want a simple end. Thank you very much. And then, yeah, the XCO came back. He had given to someone he trusted and it went badly. He rebought it. Wow, it's quite the journey. Interesting. And then lastly, we want if meat chance equals. Oh, I know why I'm getting an error thrown here, because that's only a single equals. That needs to be a double. If meat chance equals 1, then core add item position, and meat doesn't exist yet, so I don't know how that's going to work. ls items. Is it items? I don't even know. Yes, it is. Okay. ls items meat lump. And I'll just give you 1. All right, that seems like a fairly inefficient system for the entirety of this, but whatever. It should be fine. So then we're just going to copy this, because why not? And we're going to change that from metal ingot to meat lump. And we're going to change the name to raw meat. And then in inventory image, I just happen to have one from last year's game. It was quite the good texture. I don't know if it actually was, but we're gonna use it because I don't have time to make a new one. And this will be ls items meat raw, even though it's called meat lump. You know, let's change that from meat lump to meat raw. I'll have to change the drop name, but that's fine. ls items meat raw. So then this would be cookable in the furnace as well, because, I mean, why not? Okay, so it's going to drop not a meat lump, but meat raw. Now, of course, the furnace, it doesn't have anything to cook this into yet, so that's going to need something to exist. And then we'll just copy this cook times for the raw meat. Now, you know, if we're going to cook metal ingot or metal lumps, well, if you would go away, you stupid thing, I could put a comma in. There we go. Are you happy now? If we're going to cook a metal lump into a metal ingot in 10 seconds, I kind of feel like we should be able to cook raw meat into cooked meat in a little less time than that. So let's drop this to 5. We'll do 4.5. Half of 7.5 would be 3.75. I think we'll just go to 3.5 though. And then 5 will drop to 2.5. So that'll cook quite a bit faster. But yeah, it does need to have something to cook into. Also, I need to add groups cookable to it so that it can be put into the furnace. And then I guess I do need a cooked variant, which that's going to be fun because I don't have a texture for that. And it'll have to heal you as well, which that's not a big deal. Items meat cooked. And that's going to be description. Cooked meat. Tasty. Well, we're not going to put the tasty part in, but... Oh, you know, I forgot the I forgot the old squiggler brace. To put that in. Or it'll be all up in my face yelling at me. You didn't put a squiggly brace in. Actually, I don't know if it would. It would definitely crash though. And then inventory image should be ls inventory image equals ls items meat cooked.png. It doesn't need a group or a cook time, but it does need an on use equals function and honestly I don't know what we put in there, but not to worry because I also have some code I can steal to do that. If I go back to my Epic game and go to the Epic mod within the Epic game, there is this this health potion. I don't actually know what that is part of. Craft items, probably. Healing powder on use. Yes. Now this one also did a radius heal, which was kind of neat, but we're not doing radius heals here because we're not really intending to heal any other players. Particle healing, I don't have that, so we're not going to do that. And then we don't care about any of those. I don't know if I need to do this item stack take item 1 return item stack line, but you know what, we're gonna include it. User health points plus 20. What's our max health points? That feels maybe a tad extravagant. Let's put it down to 10. You know, that might still be a tad extravagant. I don't know. We're gonna have to take some fall damage and find out. Okay, so now I should be able to just steal some raw meat. Give me ls items meat underscore raw, and I don't know, give me 20 of them. 20 of them. Thank you very much. Hey, look, I got raw meat. Nice. Now if we go to the furnace, we're going to pull out the metal lump. Just drop the raw meat in. Take my metal out. It is intentional that you only see your top row of inventory. I may be decreasing the number of inventory slots. I don't know. Okay, why is the raw meat not cooking? Raw meat, or meat raw rather. It's in groups cookable. Oh, you know what? Because I think the furnace is coded very poorly. Not a surprise there, because you know I wrote the code. I think it needs to be specifically declared what the output is going to be. If input name metal lumps, then cook stuff position. Yeah, which this is a terrible way to do things. That should be rip what? What has happened? It says I have an excellent connection. Okay. Else if input name. This is a terrible way to write code, kids. Don't ever do this. I should just be calling a value and then yeah, because this is junk code. Don't ever do this. I would destroy this if I could, but I can't because I need this to win the game. Okay. I don't know what I just did there, but that does not seem right. I pasted that into the wrong line. That's what I did. Okay, so we have if input name is ls items meat raw and inventory room for item output ls items meat cooked, then we want to cook stuff. I love that the function is just called cook stuff. And then we're going to put the output here to meat cooked. This is definitely... Oh, you said because it's your code. Yeah. Clearly my code's not that hot because... Oh, hey, there we go. We got some cooked meat already. Look at her cook. All right, so now if we like jump off of this, that might be too high. I don't want to die. Also, there's no way to set a home position, so RIP about that. Okay, so we have some cooked meat. All right, I mean that seemed like it healed me entirely with one piece. Um, so maybe that's still a bit high. I would have to see what the maximum health is of a player. I think it's 20. Okay, so now I need a picture of cooked meat, which, yeah, how am I gonna get that? Do I have like a picture of a steak or something I could use? I'm trying to think, would I have ever taken a picture of a steak? Or even a roast, honestly. Because I mean my picture of meat is like a raw roast. I doubt if I would have. And I didn't have a cooked variant for Kobold Krieg because it was just an icon showing to show you your count of food. And it wasn't actually even representative of meat because in the game, the only food you could get was berries and there was wheat fields. So all of your food options were berries or wheat, and yet the icon was a chunk of raw meat. Yeah, because, why not, I guess. All right, well, I need to go tuck the kids in and things, you know, be a responsible parent here. So I will leave it with this beautiful network of particle systems, which I must say, it does look pretty cool. I think I want to link it up to the furnace too, but we'll see on that. I mean, that looks pretty good. The particles might need to be a little larger for a good effect of this, but this is this. Yeah, I will be back in like 10 or 15 minutes. You know the drill. Use the bathroom, do some exercise, get a drink of water, tell your family you love them, do something of value instead of just sitting at your computer for 10 minutes waiting for me to get back. Yeah, but I'll be back shortly, and I'll see you then. Welcome back. I was told I startled somebody once. So, in an effort to not startle anybody else when I come back, the little hum, you know. All right, well, let's... So many things that need to be done. But I think a big one is we need to make these monsters attack you when you punch them. Because right now they just keep running, which is kind of a big problem. So we're going to... My audio is low. Is that better if I pull the microphone closer to my face? It probably is. Also, I am talking a little... I got something in my eye. Talking a little quieter because, you know, kids are in bed. Don't want to waken them. Well, they're not sleeping yet, but I don't want to keep them from falling asleep. I can crank the audio here too. Is that better? Is that better audio for all of you in my fine watching audience? We are going to make the wombles, because that's what we're calling these monsters. We're going to make them do something when they get punched. I believe there's an on-punch callback. I have to check. If there is... It should be a simple matter of actually Goblin Scouts. There is an on punch, which does blah blah blah. Okay, well perfect. That's all we need. On underscore punch equals function self and puncher, which would be the player's name, player object actually. We are going to want to stop the womble from moving. Which we will do with a simple... do we just do a set velocity 0? Is that how we stopped them? Yeah, okay, here we go, yeah. Self object set velocity 0, 0, 0. Simple enough. So we're going to take that, come all the way down here. Self object set velocity. So when you punch it, it'll stop because they're not going to run away. They don't run away from you. They will attack you no matter what. And then we're going to change it to self state following. Right? Yeah, we'll do self state following. And then I think I need to add the player name someplace. Self state equals following. And then, what was it? It's player name something. Self-following player equals player name. Player name is player get player name from the player object, which would be the puncher. So we'll come down here and we'll change it to following. Who is it following? It's following player name. So we need local player name equals puncher get player name. So then it changes to following the player. And it stops. That should be good. Let's see what happens when I come here and punch one of these guys. Hey, bud, you're kind of... And you stopped, which is good. But are you actually following me? What? Like, bro, you're supposed to be following me. What did I bork? Also, I should be using like a pickaxe on this guy. Hey, let's check out the drops, huh? Crystal, metal and crystal. Sweet, I'll take it. Self object set velocity 0, self state following player's player name. If self state is following, if self state following player get player by name, self following player for player position. If distance is less than 2, punch the player. If distance is greater than 2, because of the light level. Yes. So the monsters won't follow you if you're in a light area. which is probably the issue here. They really shouldn't be wandering into this area because it is too bright for them, but they're not really the smartest. That's my fault, by the way, because the code is not great. I threw it together in 7 hours. So, what do you expect? Okay, so I think I'm seeing the issue here. If the distance is greater than, or if the distance is under 20, but is greater than 2, because this will run first, and if this doesn't evaluate, this will. Then we check the light level. And if the light level is not that, we change to wandering. What if instead we invert this? Big brain. We'll still set the state to wandering, but we're going to take this whole bit right here, and we're going to vector multiply perhaps. Now, can we just invert a vector? Is that a thing? I have no idea. Vector, so I spell it right. Vector dot invert? No. Vector sort, vector equals, vector combine, vector apply, vector absolute, vector round, vector ceiling, floor, normalize, length, distance, direction, to string, from string, copy, random direction, 0, new, in area, random in area, vector add, vector subtract, vector multiply, vector divide. Checks vectors, vector rotate around axis, and rotate direction. Okay, none of that meant anything to me, but I think I could just do a vector multiply -1, I think, or in this case -3. And we're back. I do enjoy when OBS crashes for just absolutely no reason at all. It's amazing, really. It's one of the best things. I don't understand what causes it. I don't know why it happens. Where are some of these monsters at? It's so dark, I can't see anything. That is the point. It also doesn't help that I have like 6 lights around me on so that I have good lighting. Because we all know the only reason you're actually watching this content is for me. It's not because you're interested in what I'm doing. You just can't get enough of my dashing good looks. Where are these guys all going? Hey, here one is. Hey, bud. What if I punch you? But you need to be in the light. Okay. Are you gonna... He's already turning around. He's running away. It's too bright. Okay, well... I mean, yes, that is the correct answer, but I do kind of need to test the code, so you're going to have to stop doing that. Let's check if the time of day at noon helps. It probably won't. It actually looks like it got darker somehow, which I don't understand. That's the sun. Why is it so dark? Oh, hey, here one is. Also, the thing that, there we go. Thing that checks the daylight only runs once every 30 seconds. It's like, oh, hey, it's daytime. We can make the light brighter now. I see one over here. Actually, I see like 4 of them over here. Hey, bud. If I punch you, are you going to start following me? And he's running away because I guess it's too bright out. He's running away. Okay. Something's attacking me, though. Something someplace isn't that dark, I guess. Which is fair enough. Okay, I should really not be hanging out there because I'm going to die. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to die. And I don't have any cooked meat on me. So let's go someplace where it's bright and hopefully these guys will leave me alone. Now you do heal a little bit. Every 30 seconds you do gain 1 health point. So if you don't have food, not all is lost. But you probably should invest in getting some meat. But obviously that's a little difficult to do when you have things trying to eat you. Okay. Is there like a vector speed? Vector in each direction, vector distance, vector normalized, return zero positive number, length of a vector. I don't really want that. I just want to know like the speed. Basically, I just want to know how fast it's moving, because some of these guys are going a little too fast. I don't know if that's an option though. No, it doesn't really look like it. You would think there's got to be some kind of a math that I can use to get... I can get velocity, right? I should be able to get speed from velocity, because velocity is just speed with a direction. How to get speed from velocity. Okay, so you just need to do this advanced mathematics. You need to find the magnitude of the velocity vector. For a one-dimensional velocity, you take its absolute value. For a multi-dimensional velocity vector, use the Pythagorean theorem to find the length of the vector. This video demonstrates how to find the speed from velocity components using the Pythagorean theorem. Or I could just look at this handy nagua.com. Consider the following graph. Average speed, total distance, total time. Yeah, I don't know any of that. I just know the velocity. So velocity, I should have, but there's a text overview. So multi-directional, formula 2D for speed. I really only care about 2D. So I basically get the square root of velocity 2 over x plus velocity 2 over y. So am I squaring these? The speed is the squared root of the sum of the squares of each velocity component. Bruh. What? I don't remember any of this from high school. Sounds complicated. Also, I'm not really sure where I would put this. Because I don't think I'd want to run that every single second. That seems computationally expensive. So I would do... Honestly, I don't know what I would do. Someplace here, I would get the velocity. Then I need the square root, the square of each number. And then I get this. Okay, that actually doesn't sound so difficult. So I don't want to add velocity, I want to get velocity. And there's set velocity, add velocity. I mean, it should just be get velocity. It should be simple enough. Okay, on collision, we don't really care about collisions. We're just going to put it in here, I guess. I don't know. It seems like a... So we have self-object. We want to get velocity. And I'm assuming this would just be an empty thing. So we're just going to do local vel equals self-object get velocity. Then we're going to do some fun math. Local speed equals vel.x. How do I square it? Do I just have to multiply it by itself? I mean, I know how to square something, okay? But, like, is there a better way than just velocity x times velocity x? There might not be. Plus velocity. Now, y is up and down. I don't care about up and down. So that's going to be velocity z times velocity z. Now, because ain't nobody got time to remember the whole goofy, do we multiply or add or any of that garbage first? We're just going to put this in parentheses so we know we were multiplying these, and then we're adding them. And then we're going to put this entirety into parentheses so we know we're taking this whole value. I don't know why I'm getting an error here because that should be fine. But then how do I get the square root? How do I get the square root of a number in Lua? What is the math operand look like? Square root in Lua. Do I just use squirt? I use math squirt. math dot squirt. Math squirt. Simple enough. And that theoretically should give me my speed, so then I can do print speed is speed. And then theoretically, every single one of these will be giving me a speed value every second. Speed is, yep, I'm getting a lot of speed values. I don't know what any of them mean because there's too many things going on to really know which one's which. Oh, hey, I should try my pickaxe. Can I break this with a stone pickaxe? No, I can't. Okay. Well, there's that answer. Hey, guys. I just seen one that was like at 7. Bro, there was one at 6. Okay, so I think what we're going to do... This didn't seem so difficult. We're just going to come here. We can get rid of this. Then we're just going to do if speed is greater than 4. Let me just actually look through here. See what kind of values. I got one at 12, one at 5, one at 10. Most of them are 1 or 2, which seems fine. And then if it's chasing you, it should go up to 3. So, you know, I'm going to, yeah, if speed is greater than 4, then, then we're going to, want to slow the speed down. Can I take, you know, I could. I very much so could. I could do self.object set velocity, and then this, well, we'd actually have to do a little something here first. We would do local slow equals vector multiply velocity times 0.25. That would drop it to 1/4 of the speed, which if it's too slow, theoretically it'll pick up speed itself somehow at some point. Will it actually do that? I don't know. I think so, though. Who knows? I mean, when we're doing, if it finds an object to travel to, I do, yeah, when it's wandering, it has a random vector which we multiply by 2, so it goes a little faster. If it's traveling, I think the velocity is set, 1.2. And sometimes it'll overstep itself, which is annoying, but I don't have enough time or enough math skills to make that actually work. So now, like, where did he just go? He fall through the ground or something? Okay, he's running away. Took him a second to decide. And he disappeared. Okay. You shouldn't just be disappearing, though. Ooh, big hole. Ooh, bigger hole. Okay, so he's just kind of wandering around. Oh, he attacks him, but then he turns away. And disappeared. I mean, I guess that's not the biggest deal in the world if they disappear. Like, if I stay on him, I'm going to die. And now he turns around because it's daylight. But if it was nighttime, I may have to change that because I would like it to, actually do some kind of an attack. On punch. So it's the following. Here, if it's following, if the player's within 2, punch the player. So light level is greater than 5. go towards the player. Otherwise, it runs away from the player if the light's greater than 5. Light max is 14, so let's go 7. Because I think even at the brightest time of day, I mean what there is of day, we should be below 7. Hey, bud, come back here. No, see, he's still running away. Dude, it should be dark enough that you can come attack me. Oh well, whatever. I ain't got time for that right now. So we can get, oh, you know, I still need to have a, oh boy. I have to give initial items to the players so that they can do things. You know, because that's kind of important. And let's put the, it's such a scattered episode. It's not really an episode, but, you know. Okay, we're going back to the furnaces. And to the form specs. I want to be at the shift click things. Because that is a very nice feature to have. So I believe to do that, we do list ring. I don't know how to do that. It's been so long. Well, I would assume my ASRS mod has that. Form specs. Do we have a list ring? Oh, we must. We have tooltips, which is cool. Inventory screen. Oh, you know, that's not even the actual form spec. This is the form spec. Oh, I'm just doing a list ring with nothing. Because I suppose it only has 2. Well, you know what? Then we'll go to Epic here. And we'll go to default and we'll look at the furnace. Because I know the furnace uses them. Or at least I would sure hope it does. Because it would be pretty annoying if it didn't. Okay, so we have list ring destination to player. Context to player, fuel to player. But we don't have player to... Oh, well, that's fine. I should be able to figure it out from this. So we're doing a list ring from current player main. I'm confused. Current player. I don't know what current player is. I'm assuming that's just... Yeah, that should just be like a built-in thing. Current player main. And then we want that to list or to link to list ring. And that would be, I'm assuming node meta dot dot key dot dot input. And then we would want to do another, which would be node meta key, and that would be output, and we'd want that to link to the first link. Pretty sure that's how this is supposed to be done. Like I said, I haven't done that in a hot minute. See what happens. So if we shift click the meat, it goes into, well, that's not supposed to happen. That shouldn't even be possible. So that's not great. Let's take my raw meat. If I click the raw meat, it goes in there. Perfect. Comes to here, I click it, it comes out. I can't cook stone. Yeah, that's right. So that makes sense. Take my metal lumps. They go in. That works. Cooks it. I click it out. This should go back to player inventory because that's not even supposed to be allowed in there. So I don't know if this is valid. Do I have to put this in twice? genuinely have no idea. I don't know if this is possible. Okay, we put the metal in. It just kicks it back and forth between slots now. That still kicks it out though. Okay. So that's not right. So from the current player, we go to here. So then I guess we'll go from here to current player. But then I feel like current player is going to want to go to output. Although if we don't allow putting in the output. Okay. And then metal lump to here, metal ingot. 35. If I do it again, it should go to 36. Yep. Okay, that's working. Sweet. There is still an issue. No, actually, no, there's not. Well, there is in that you can manually move it from one side to the other, which potentially will lead to a duplication glitch. But it doesn't look like it. Sweet. I was worried that you'd be able to have it here and the timer would start, and then when the timer fires, but it checks the inventory each time. So we're good on that. Excellent. That is very good to know. For some reason, that's not. Okay, well, whatever. So that looks like it's right. Do I want to write the goofy function to do the background now? I may as well. Now this I don't even know how to do, to be perfectly honest. We do have ls core, so I can write functions in ls core. I already have some functions in ls core, actually. So we're going to make a new one. Function ls core dot inv slots bg, and that's going to take x comma y, two numerical values, and it's gonna do some crazy stuff. Maybe not crazy, honestly, but we're gonna do some form spec wizardry. Not wizardry. I don't know if I have a good example of this. Well, I don't think I do. So basically, I want to do a local form spec equals, I guess, an empty string. Can I just do local form spec? I don't know. And then we're going to return a form spec. Because that's essentially what this whole function is about. And we're going to take these two values. So basically I need to do is it this one? Yes. So we're going to take this. Oh, you know what? That's not right. I need 4 values. I need the x and y value. Basically, this function is going to draw the inventory slots onto an inventory space, so I don't need to manually do it in every single form spec. I can just call a function and give it, width and height. That's what I want. And I can just tell it, hey, at this position, draw this many boxes wide, this many boxes tall. It's just a simple array, honestly. But in order to do that, this is going to be fun. So we're going to do local x equals x or 1. I shouldn't need to do any of this, honestly, because x and y will have to define. Width and height could be 1, so it'll equal w or 1, and the local height will equal height or 1. That way you could do it with just the first 2 values and it'll draw 1 background. I don't know what inventory slot would ever only have 1 background or one slot, but if it happens, then you don't have to type in 1 and 1. I guess it'll save some time, potentially. So then inventory slots are spaced. If we look at the code here, well, this is kind of a mess. It adds a quarter of a form spec. Yes. So it adds 1/4 per space. So I need to do a loop for, man, I need an example of this. I know I have one in my clothing mod because it adds buttons into form specs. That is not, is that part of shop? Yes. So we do an offset. Okay, which is kind of what we want. It must be what we want. So does this offset then ever loop over? Because local offset, I equals 1 count do. We're matching these form spec offset, tooltip offset, button offset. Offset equals I times 0.25. Maybe I'm putting this inside of a scroll bar? What is this even being dumped into? This is just part of the form spec. Item image, tooltip, and button. But I have a previous and a next? Oh, because of the offset. So this must only show one per... Yeah, I guess it must. It only shows one per... Well, that was a hacky way of doing it. But it does at least give me something to work with. And that's all I need. I just need a slight refresher. So we're just going to do a for I equals x. No. For I equals 1, comma, with do the image, which this does need to be a string. So we're adding this to the form spec every time. That does seem correct. Now my concern, well, I guess it wouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Okay, so then we're going to do form spec equals form spec ... this. That seems correct because we have local form spec here. Here I am defining it as something, but I don't know if that matters. I guess we're going to find out. Okay, and then I guess an end will be required for that. So that is... See, no, I don't... Nah, we can't do it this way. We need to do something different because I also need to multiply by the height. So we'll just do this. For I equals 1 for the width, do... this is... this is a mess. So I need to do x plus an offset. And the first value is x. So... that's my x value, and then this would be my y value. And then that would be 1 and 1 because the backgrounds are 1, so that doesn't matter. But I do need to put an offset in, so I do need to do x equals I times 0.25. I don't know why that went into parentheses. I didn't want that. Because x would be whatever we're defining. Unexpected symbol near image. What do you mean unexpected symbol near image? Huh? I probably need to define this as something. Okay, this is going to have to be X. Okay, this is getting a little more complicated than I thought it'd be. X string equals X string ... And then I need to do a local X string. Form spec, I think I can actually eliminate from there. Okay, so X string, this is the string for the X values. That's not even right. This should be width string, because we're dealing with the widths. Then for the height, we want to do that to the width string. This isn't gonna work. How do I do this? I have to do like 2 loops or something? So this works for a single dimensional array. If width is 5, it would put the X at the 5 values. But it would do nothing for Y. So I think I need to do 2 loops. Does it matter which we do first? I don't think so. So we're going to do local H string, by the way, not string, whatever that is. And then we're going to do a for I equals 1 comma H do. And we're going to put this loop inside of that loop. And then here we're going to do I just need to change the Y value. Do I need to put that after? I think I need to put that after this loop ends. So then I do Y equals I times 0.25. So does W string just hold everything? Print W underscore string. I have no idea. This could be garbage, honestly. Okay, so we're going to go to the furnace. I don't even know where I put this in. Can I just do this? And then say X if I have furnace UI 0.25, and 1, and this is 2 and 2. And it crashes. Okay, attempt to concatenate local W string a nil value. Okay, so that tells me not much. W string is a nil value, so we'll just make it equals a blank string, and we're going to make H string not exist because we might not need that. Okay, well, we get another crash. Attempt to concatenate a nil value, stack traceback. In furnace lines 23. Oh, I don't know if LS crystal depends equals LS core. I suppose if it's not depending on core, that function may not be available to it. Okay, well, we still have an issue. Undeclared variable form spec. LS core functions line 69. Oh, yeah, I suppose you can't really return something that doesn't exist. Now can you? Ooh, cancel that. Now can you? Okay, but I'm still getting an error trying to just print this. Time to concatenate no value. Line 23 in the furnace, which is doing this. That shouldn't be a nil value, though. I guess it would be, actually, now that I think about it. So let's just return some bogus value. So we'll just return a string of hello, which will just make the form spec bug out, but it shouldn't crash. Okay. And we have a printout of image 0.25 at 1, 1, and 1. Then we have 0.25, 1, 1, 1. Then we have 0.5, 0.25, 1, 1. 0.25, 0.25. That's not quite right. Yeah, what? That's not even close to being right. Because I have to do I plus offset. Of course. So then I wonder. I equals 1 through H. See, that's not. No, that is right. So am I doing X? I plus X? Because if I'm doing that, that kind of makes me think that I don't need to do X and Y independently of each other. Okay, we have 0.125 and 2.25 and 3, 1.5 and 1.25, 2.25 and 2.25. Okay, well that's probably not what we want, but I'm going to go ahead and return it. Let's go ahead and return W string. Then the furnace theoretically will print that out and we'll at least see it. Oh. 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 That ain't even close. What is, huh? What? Okay. That is not right. Interesting. So 1 equals 1 through H, which is the height, and we have the width. X and Y. I feel like do I start with offset of 0? No, I need to start with X plus offset. So okay. Let's take that line out because I don't need that line. I don't think I do. Well, it needs to be offset. Offset equals I times 0.25. So then up here, we're going to do a local offset equals 0 for height and width. And then I'm going to change W string to just string because the W really doesn't mean anything anymore. And this is going to be I plus offset plus X. Because X is my actual where I want it to be placed. So I think I need to do I plus X plus offset. And then this would be I plus Y plus offset. I think. Maybe? I'll be surprised if it works. It crashes. Okay, well, that's cool. Attempt to concatenate a nil value. Line 23. Oh, yeah, I suppose. I can't exactly return a string that I haven't created, huh? If I'm going to change the name of the string, I need to return the corrected value. Okay, this is even worse somehow. For I equals 1 and height, this is the size of the slot. String equals string plus the image, I plus x plus offset. X is where we want the field to start. So if it's supposed to start at 0.25 and 1, here we go, 0.25 and 1. That's the locations we want it. So if I have 0.25 for x, and I have I equaling, I have I equaling 1. Well, that's a problem because that's going to offset it by 1.25, which doesn't actually seem quite correct. But maybe. I'm not sure why I'm only getting 3. Okay, so then that means I have to subtract 1 from I? Can I do for I equals 0? I don't think so, but we'll give her a shot. Maybe that works. Oh. Okay, well, the first one's in the right spot. I can't tell if it's drawing the texture on it or not, but it is in the right spot. Unfortunately, when I put an item in, it becomes invisible, so that's a bit of an issue. But I think that can be fixed just by putting this to a different area. Okay, so that's right. The trouble here would now be if we're multiplying by... What? I'm confused. Let's just write down what our x and y's are. So 0.25 and 1. X equals 0.25, y equals 1. So if these are the values being passed to the function, width and height should be made to equal 2 because I'm passing, 2 and 2 there. So that's correct. So width should equal width, height should equal height, string, offset 0. For I equals 1 height, and I equals 1 width. So height and width, this is 2 each, so it should be running this code 4 times, which from our output there, it is running it 4 times. Image. We want the first image to be drawn at the position. So I suppose we could make our first instance of the string be the first instance of the string, which would be just a simple x and y. Although, does that actually work? Because then we would be changing... I don't think that works. Because that would be drawing one corner. If I change these to 2, I would miss either the top corner or the bottom corner. Or I guess the side or below that first spot. I guess I'll just save it and give it a shot. I mean, I'm going to say, worst case, it just draws it twice. Which is not what we want, but would also not be the end of the world. I'm thinking maybe I try to just get it half working, right? Let's just try to get the 2 slots. And then we'll go to making it a 2D array. Okay. So I'm still getting 3 printouts, so we're going to take this one and eliminate it. I wish I could do this with the form spec editor, but form spec editor game does not allow any of this. So this is being offset by one node, which kind of makes sense. If offset equals 0, x right now, I equals 1. So what if I get rid of I? What if I just do y and offset? Is that all it needs? Well, clearly not, because I have one that's correct and one that's completely wrong. Because it's only off by the offset. I plus offset. See, this thing I equals 1. It's doing I plus offset. I can't do, because this is just starting at 1 or whatever. That didn't matter, but I need to have an offset set in here. X is 0.25. So it's putting the first image at 0.25 plus the offset, which is 0. And it's putting y at the offset, which is 0 and 1, which is correct. But then the next loop through, offset equals I times 0.25. It needs to be I times 1.25? I don't think so, but I guess I really stand to lose nothing at this point. So let's try that. Okay. So it's going on a perfect diagonal. This is going to because I needed to go straight. I don't want it doing the y offset just now. So how do I do this? I would have to have a second set of offsets. So if I put this loop inside of my other loop, for I equals 1, comma, height, do, and this is going to be, yeah, see, this is where it gets all jacked up. This needs to be down here. Okay, so I guess we do offset underscore x, which this would be offset underscore x, and then I do an offset underscore y. That might be the trick. And this is gonna be y plus offset underscore y, and then offset underscore x, and then local offset underscore y equals 0. Possibly that is correct. I wouldn't get my hopes up. Ooh. Okay, we're getting close. So let's just for funsies make this a 3x3 and see what that renders out as. Okay, so the second set is jacked up by 1, but other than that, it's perfect. We're almost there. So I guess I should have to test this in some other slot spots too, but what are we doing wrong? The second row, so that's our second loop, but it stays wrong by just 1. So we do this, and we loop through this whole loop. And this is our first row. Then our second row, we're multiplying offset by 1.25. But the third row somehow is still the same, which I don't understand. Do I just do this one at 0.25? I feel like that's probably not the solution. No, definitely not. This is our, well, actually, should have known that. This is my height. But it's a 3 by 3. What? I'm confused. So this is my width. X equals offset underscore X plus Y plus offset underscore Y. Y equals 1. Let's do this. Oh! Can I do I on both? Maybe not. Let's do IH and IW. Which doesn't really make sense because that's... Okay, offset X is the IW and this one's IH. I don't think that's going to change anything at all. No. Okay. I didn't think that would. Where is this all going south? If the first one is right, does that mean that's wrong? But it doesn't make sense because the third one's still the same as the second one. Yeah, wait. Someplace there's an extra value being put in of 1. Do I change this to 0? I'm all sorts of confused. Why does this just not... But now I'm getting an extra here? What? So then do I do W minus 1? What? Or if that's what it takes. What? So we're going from 2 and then we do 3 and 3. Or I go from 3 to 4 and 4. So changing this is not... That makes this first one correct. But if I do the width minus 1, the first row's width is wrong. What? What is going on? I don't understand. For IH equals 1, offset Y is IH. I mean, it's so close to being right. And just drawing in 2 extra boxes. I don't know why. Probably because I changed it to start at 0. If I change that back to start at 1, then I bet it draws it with the right number of boxes. Yes, but they're shifted over 1 node. But it stays consistent over 1 node from the second time in the loop. Which makes no sense. X plus offset Y. How do I just scoot this over 1? Can I do something really stupid and just do minus 1? Okay, well, evidently not. Malformed number near 1. Okay. I don't know, it's a malformed number, but sure. Okay, let's try this and change it to a 5 wide, 3 tall. And see what we get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 wide, 3 tall. So that's right, but it just inexplicably draws these two ones one over. So for my first loop, I mean, do I just do an offset y of -1? I really can't. Or could I? I'm grasping at straws here. I don't know what's going on. Okay, no. I guess I need to be in the X offset. I don't think this is going to fix it still. That did something crazy, but it definitely did not fix it. Okay, so both of the offsets should be 0. Okay. So I assume we're drawing this whole row first. And then somehow we gain an extra number of 1.25. Somehow, somewhere. I could try doing that by 0.25, but I don't think that's right. No, nope, that is definitely not right. Offset y is 0. 1h. Do we just do plus 0.25? I don't think that's correct. Nope, because then the first row is correct and the second row is incorrect. And I bet if I add a fourth row to the height, I'm going to throw this over here so I can just jump back and forth between the two. So 0.25 is x, and y is 1, which is what I have. With this 5, height is 4. Okay, so if we have a height of 4, it stacks them all directly on top of each other. So what if we add 0.125? Maybe that's what we want to do instead of multiplying? I really don't know. Well, no, that's definitely not right. Okay, so we're going to multiply this one. And that should make the top row correct. Whole bottom row is still completely jacked up. So we'll change this to multiply by 0.25. All kinds of jacked up again. I don't know how this top one's changing. Doesn't make any sense to me. Change it to 1.25, which should be back to our original issue, where the second row is offset by 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5, and 4 high. 5 is our width. Width equals width or 1 for IH equals 1H. Our height is 4. That looks correct. And then we're going to run through this whole loop, which is IW equals 1 through W, which in this case W is 5. We do a string with an image and offset. I think the issue is the first. But why would it do each the same? What is, I don't understand. Let's do print IH is IH. And then we're going to do another print IW is IW. Well, unfortunately, the stupid mobs are printing out a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to have to jump in here. Yep, I don't care about them starting to wander. That's just cluttering debug purpose. I can't tell what's going on. All right, so let's scroll all the way down. Okay. IH is 1, IW is 1, IW is 2, IW is 3, IW is 4, IW is 5. IH is 2, IW is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. IH is 3, IW is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. IH is 4, IW is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, that all seems right then. So what is going on? X plus offset X, Y plus offset Y. Offset X is IW times 1.25, which, as we see here, IW is printed out 5 times for every number. So it's offset. It needs to be reset. That's why. So I just need to do offset underscore X equals 0. Am I an idiot or am I a genius? I don't know. Okay, so we just changed both of these to 2 then. And theoretically, it works. Unfortunately, again, our input goes behind it, which I don't think is an issue because I should be able to take this and I should be able to put it right behind this. And then that should put it behind that slots. And then the outputs will just paste the exact same thing. And our output's going to be 6.5. Oops. 6.5, 1, and 3, and 2. And then for the player inventory, we'll do this as well. So that'll be 0.25, 4, 8, and 1. And then... Oh, no. No. Oh, did I forget to... I did. That was a silly mistake on my part. Huh? But why? Why does it not display for any of those? Oh, and that still gets made invisible? What? Okay. LS core inventory slot background. 6.5, 1, 3, and 2. 0.25, 4, 8, and 1. I wonder. Bad argument to show form spec. String expected got nil. Oh. Yeah, that would. Now I get nothing. What? IH is 1, IW is 1, 2. IH is 2, IW is 2. IH is 1, IH is 2. IW is to 3, yep. All the numbers are printing out, right? So why do I get no image now? Is it because of the inventory slot backgrounds? That could very well be it. So there's I think it's this one here, list colors. That's probably, now do I put that? I'll put that before the lists, which are here. So I will put it up in this row. I'm guessing that's probably all that the problem is. Yes! Yes! Oh, it's so good. It gets just a little bit lighter when you highlight it. It would be nice to have like an arrow or something here, but whatever. Versus link to find beacons. Yes! Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, that's great. So now I can do, I'd have to redo this whole form spec, which I don't know how much work that is. But I have an easy function to do it now. The player inventory can all be changed over to that easily enough. The beacon, when it's a broken beacon, I could have just done that one manually though, because it's just one inventory slot. Nice. That's going to make this whole thing so easy. You just call a function with the location, and it puts all your squares in for you, and you're not doing it manually. I mean, sure, it took me an hour to figure it out. It probably wasn't an hour. But it works. That's all that matters. You just have to make sure you do the list colors thing, because otherwise it doesn't work. It would be nice to have an actual background on that. So I'm just going to go ahead and steal the background from the beacons, which is probably not the right size, but it'll kind of squish into place, and you'll at least be able to kind of see the color on it. And this is supposed to be set to false for some reason. Okay. I should also change the text color because you can't read that. I'm confused. Oh. That's 11.5. I didn't change the size of this. Oh, that should be 7. And if that's 11, this should be 13. So I believe it's... Yeah, it starts one node off to the top left, so it should extend one node to the bottom right. Also, this position and anchor can go and change. I was going to say they can go away, but no. We do 0.5 and 0.75, and then this one's at 0.5 for both. That is subject to change, though, actually, because I don't know. There we go. Yeah, I mean, you can't read the text. And I don't know if this is actually the right size. It might be skewed a little, but it does work. Again, you can't read the text, so I should fix that. I just have to change this. And then do style type text area. Bada boom, bada bing. The text area should probably be centered as well for titles, but this furnace is linked to, okay, I don't know why my text area is not long enough. If I do F5, I should be able to get, yeah. So why is my text area so narrow? That makes no sense. I have all my inventory slots. That seems to be not right, because that should be, oh well, whatever. I mean, I have to get a new background image anyways. But that should be the full width of this. Whatever this comes out to should be the size of that. So I just need to make this text area 7.5. If it's an 11 inch, or it's 11 inch, if it's 11 units, and I'm setting it in a quarter, it should be 10.5. 10.5. And then the height, I can probably set to just 2. Honestly, 2 is probably higher than it needs to be. But I want to make sure if someone's on a small screen, you don't get weird clipping. There we go. It fits. I mean, it still extends down way too far. Like all the way to here. But at least that's right. I don't understand what the inventory is. Maybe I just have this too big. Maybe this should be 10. And then this would be 12. And then this would be 9.5. And then that would fit right to the inventory slots. I'm not sure. I definitely said something very wrong. Oh, yeah, no, size should not be 1. That should be 11. And that should be 9.5. Let's try that one more time. Furnace is linked to 5 beacons. Oh, so it has to be... That seems wrong. Although, I suppose, in fairness, I don't have any sort of inventory elements that I'm working around on this one, so that could be why. So I just need to add a quarter to the width, so it needs to be 11.25, and then the background would be 12.25, but I still think that should be 13 because we're starting at a 0 over. I don't know. And then this would be 9.75. If that's even right. That actually might need to be an 1/8. Nope, that looks right. Okay, yeah, that all looks correct. And then is this inventory background scaled proportionately? I don't know. It might be. Because this is what it's supposed to look like. So this one is stretched out a little bit. Honestly, though, I think it works. Like, it's a high enough resolution, I don't think you're going to know. Whatever, I can render out a new one that's the correct size. I'm just really glad it's finally working. And I need to wrap things up here, because it's bedtime. So, there'll be a stream tomorrow night. If all goes well, there should be. I don't see any reason why not. Wednesday, and don't stream Wednesday. Thursday, Thanksgiving. Hello. So, we'll be stuffing our faces. There will not be a stream Wednesday. Sorry, Thursday. Thanksgiving. Friday is the deadline. I don't remember what time, but I will not be streaming Friday because when I would be streaming, I think it's after the deadline already. So we'll take a few days off. I think the rating goes till the end of the year with the results announced sometime in January. I'll keep working on the game, but it has to be in like a different branch. I might not even upload it. I might just keep it all local until the judging is completed. So that way nobody's... Because I can't update on content database, but people could update manually from the Git repository. So I'll probably just keep it all local so nobody does that. Just to, make sure it's fair and on the up and up and everything. Yeah, and that'll be that. So, and then we'll get back to the normally scheduled content of mod reviews and get back into the curriculum course thing that I was working on. And I've learned a handful of little things that I can do tutorials on throughout this game process. Some new features and stuff that I didn't know about before. So yeah, that'll be an exciting time. So stay tuned for all of that. And I will leave you on that fine note. So thanks for watching.